10 years ago, if we had one shooting, we were all on our toes because we knew another one was coming, whether it be a retaliation or what have you. If we had one, you're gonna have another.
Just before 10 p.m. on June 7, 2014, 911 operators get a call about a shooting in an area known as the Horseshoe.
The Horseshoe is a place down in the lower end of Anderson, southern end. It comes in off of a side street, and they call it a horseshoe because it goes around and circles back to the initial road it came from. So deputies were already on the way to the Horseshoe, and then the hospital called us.
We got reported that there were 2 gunshot victims that had arrived at the hospital.
I'm at the ER. 2 cars just pulled up with black nails who were shot multiple times.
Have you asked them where it happened at or anything?
I don't know anything. It's absolute chaos.
Is there 2 of them, you said?
There's 2 that are shot. There's about 16 people out here all just screaming and running around.
Anderson County Emergency Services.
We are a combatant crowd out here. Could you send me the city officer here to back us up, please?
Officers are dispatched to both locations. As they arrive at the hospital, one of the victims is still in the car he arrived in. A nurse attempts to help him.
The car was shaking. The lady was in there trying to give him CPR, you know. My daddy had to actually help her get him out the car and put him on a stretcher.
From the crowd, the officers learned the man is a 20-year-old local celebrity.
Brandon Willingham was an aspiring rapper, pretty well known to that, at least the local rap community. He was known as Jugg Money.
He has a lot of fans. He has lots of friends, lots of supporters. Everyone wants to know what's going on. They've heard about the shooting, so folks are flooding the parking lot.
But what they said happened?
The other victim.
Did I miss something?
He has a lot of fans.
Running around.
I missed something.
Anderson County Emergency Services.
We are a combatant crowd out here. Could you send me the city officer here to back us up, please?
Officers are dispatched to both locations. As they arrive at the hospital, one of the victims is still in the car he arrived in. A nurse attempts to help him.
The car was shaking. The lady was in there trying to give him CPR, you know. My daddy had to actually help her get him out the car and put him on a stretcher.
I know her.
From the crowd, the officers learned the man is a 20-year-old local celebrity.
Brandon Willingham was an aspiring rapper, pretty well known to that, at least the local rap community. He was known as Jugg Money.
He has a lot of fans. He has lots of friends, lots of supporters. Everyone wants to know what's going on. They've heard about the shooting, so folks are flooding the parking lot.
The other victim, his friend, is already inside being treated for his injuries.
Rayshawn Cowan, he's the other guy who got shot. We call him Cujo.
Rayshawn Cowan has been hit 4 times in his right shoulder, his hip, his thigh, and his buttocks. His friend Brandon Willingham has been hit once. Brandon has been hit in his abdomen.
As doctors work on the victims, local media gets a hold of the story.
Before we got in there and sat down, the news people
actually seen
that a guy had passed.
Chat, I actually seen, like, I actually met him a lot of times, chat. Like, dapping him up a lot of times and shit.
That's the way from the shooting that happened on the south side.
I never knew that was
They had already put it on the news and Facebook that one person was dead and one person was alive.
I saw Cujo's mom and them like over on the other waiting side. Me and her were both looking at each other because we knew somebody was dead. So we're looking at each other, I guess, really like hoping, which is bad to say, but hoping that I'm not going to be the one.
Damn.
Born on July 14th, 1993, Brandon was the first child of April Summerall and Kelly Willingham.
Damn.
The day Brandon was born is like one of the best days of my life because I had a son.
R.P. Jugg.
And for me to sit there and witness that, because I ain't never seen nothing like that before in my life. And when I got it holding my hand and looked at him, a whole lot changed. You know, I got a son. It's my son. He's named after me, Brandon Kelly Lamont Willingham. So I got me a junior named right after me.
becoming a mom to Brandon, that day I learned what true love was when I looked into his eyes. It gave me a whole new meaning of life because of Brandon. I knew I had somebody to live for, and somebody was going to depend on me, and somebody to give me a life that was worth living.
Brandon was raised.
By the way, chat, I'm gonna explain kind of later on throughout the documentary, but I actually, the dude who got killed in this documentary, the dude that they talking about, we was actually writing rhymes together. Like we was in school together type shit. Like I remember we was in ISS class and shit, bro. It's like long story, bro. But it's sad to hear he died and shit, bro. I definitely wanted to do a collab with him.
Raised in Anderson with his sister Brianna.
Me and my brother Brandon, we're like twins. We're only 10 months apart. So anything he wanted
I see
to do,
her all the time.
I wanted to do it. We were really close.
I wasn't in his life long because I went to prison. He was like 18 months when I went to jail.
My daddy got arrested when I was 4 months old. You know, he still sent Christmas gifts.
I used to talk to him and my dog. I used to talk to all of them when I was locked up.
By the time Brandon was in middle school, he had another sister, Bree Shanae. April had to spend long hours away working to support her 3 kids.
I was like a hard worker. I was a single mom for so many years until I met my husband. So when I finally met somebody who was willing to love them and me, that changed my whole life.
April and Jeremy married in 2007.
That's my school, chat.
Around that same time, Brandon started.
Chat, that's the school we was in ISS. We was in ISS classes and shit with. Betty finally walked into the party. God damn, Betty, you done missed it all, Betty. Betty done missed it fucking all. Betty done missed it all. I don't even know where to start. Let me walk through it. Let me kind of walk through it with you. Shout out to Betty, chat. I know. I'm watching this documentary on my on a homeboy that I had, chat. They finally made a documentary on him on TV1. I'm kind of reacting to it. He was a rapper just like me, but he passed away. We used to actually like rap in class. Like we used to actually like write rhymes together when we was like kids in school and shit. But I'm actually like reacting to the documentary that they just posted about him and shit. So yeah, man, it's a crazy documentary too. I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of shit that I really didn't know. And it's like everybody on this documentary, I know them. Like I know his mom on the documentary. Well, I don't know his mom, but I feel like I seen her before. But I definitely know his dad on the documentary, and I know his sisters on the documentary. Yeah, it's crazy. You gotta check it out, chat.
Started having.
But this is T.L. Hannah. You see T.L. Hannah right here, chat. This is the school that I went to. This is the school me and him went to, chat. When we was like in ISS class and shit, this is the school that we went to. But it's crazy. It's a crazy story.
Trouble at school.
Brandon was such a class clown. He drew a picture of SpongeBob smoking a joint that called me at work. And so when I had to go to school, I was so pissed off at Brandon. I was like, I'm going to kill this child. And I mean, I was hot because my job was like an hour away. Then when I got there and they handed me the picture, I had to hold the laugh in because he could draw really well.
Yeah, he could draw.
He's getting
He was
expelled, so he's
creative.
going to alternative school. My mom was trying to discipline him. Now
that girl that you just seen, I definitely know her, chat. But what I was about to say, he was definitely creative. If anything, chat, he was the one rapper, chat, that actually was finna make it out of Anderson. Like he was the one rapper who was finna make it out of South Carolina. Like he was gonna be that one rapper. Like he was gonna be the first person to make it out. But somebody ended up killing him, bro. It's a sad story.
me and my sister, we understood, we good.
I think he liked alternative school though. I really do. He was
Like,
in there for 3 years.
Kevin Gates, all kind of people.
He was like the little leader
he was
person.
starting to really meet celebrities.
In 2011, April and Jeremy welcomed twin boys.
He wasn't happy about him at first. When he found out I was having boys, I think it broke his heart because he was always my only
That's
son.
him right there, Chad.
But once they got here, He loved his brothers.
They used to call him Jugg Money.
What his family didn't know is that Brandon had been quietly nursing a dream.
The whole music thing took me, I'll just be honest, completely by storm. One day he said, and at this point, he was probably 18, he said, Mom, I'm gonna be a rapper. I said, really? I said, that's a good dream, but in the meantime, you need to get a job. And Brandon was like, no, Mom, I'm for real.
In 2012, Brandon got the chance to share his dream with his father.
When I was locked up, I did not know he could rap. I did 18 years, 9 months.
Yeah, but I definitely know his father,
I got out of prison.
I used to be with his father all the time.
Brandon threw himself into his music. He took his childhood nickname and turned it into a name he hoped would be known around the world.
Say you go to the store and you out there selling some apples, you jugging, you getting money. It's just a slang. He used to always jugging, trying to make a little $250 or something when he was little, and they just called him Jugg shoes.
He just changed his name to Jugg Money. Everybody was calling him Jugging. It sounded good.
He was just full force on that music, and it all happened with him and the music. In a year's time, he was doing shows, and I mean, booking shows week after week after week. One Battle of Atlanta, he made the deal with his promoter and his manager. He released that CD.
I was in college when he first started rapping, so I would just come home, hear the music, going back to college and make everybody else hear it.
To say that Jugg Money was an up-and-coming artist is an understatement. I mean, he was really, really on his way. He was a big deal, and he was becoming an even bigger deal.
He wanted a lot for himself and his family. He said, Pop, what kind of car you want? I would mess with him. I want a Ferrari or something like that. He said, we're going to get it one day. And that's what he believed in, so I believed in him. And Anderson believed in him, too.
On June 7th, 2014, a shooting lands Brandon and his friend Rayshawn in the emergency room at Anderson Medical Center.
News traveled very fast, so between the local newspaper, TV stations, once the shooting occurred, folks knew about it. Facebook was blowing up because of who Brandon was.
Local media reports that one of the men has died.
You've got family members from both boys' families, Brandon, Rayshawn. They're both there at the hospital, tensely waiting.
I see the corner man come out, telling us to go in his room. I went straight out the door. I ain't going in no room. I already knew.
You good?
The tragic news was that Brandon Willingham had indeed passed away.
His blood pressure plummeted because he got hit in that main aorta.
Damn, bro.
Everybody had done part and got out the cars and kind of like swarmed the outside of the hospital like a big old memorial waiting. And so when I came out, I was screaming, who did this? And what, like, who did this? Who did this?
Arrives at the hospital where rapper Brandon Willingham, also known as Jugg Money, has just succumbed to a gunshot wound to the abdomen.
There was a bunch of people at the hospital. There was a vehicle that was roped off that the victim arrived to the hospital
That's
in.
where I'm
The
at
police
now,
were standing by, had that
County.
secure.
That's where I'm at right now.
Brandon's friend was also shot, but survived.
Rayshawn Cowan has been hit 4 times in his right shoulder, his hip, his thigh, and his buttocks.
Him and Sean, they've been friends since they were kids. And Jugg and Cujo, I call him Cujo, but they grew up together. You know what I'm saying? He been there. He was a good friend of Jugg. Him and Jugg were good friends.
I was able to interview him at the hospital. He was in a lot of pain. He was wanting to get his pain meds, but I also needed to speak with him while he had a somewhat of a clear mind. Tell me what happened.
We were just standing out there talking about my homeboy. We were just talking about rapping.
They were there to shoot a rap video the next day. They were wanting to, get a lay of the land and see where they were going to put different props at and all this stuff. So they were in a deep conversation with each other. And he said a car pulls around the horseshoe, comes up to where they're at, and immediately gunshots start sounding off.
Chat, that's like right across the street from where I stay, chat. It's like right across the street from where I live at. That's crazy, bro.
Who started shooting?
I can't say so. Car came from the bottom of the road.
What the car look like?
Great car. I can't see no kind of car.
Small car, big car?
It's kind of small.
Gray small car?
So,
Did you recognize anybody in it?
so,
Jugg money? Does he got a beef with anybody?
no, sir. You local rap.
Any idea who shot you?
No, sir, not whatsoever.
Somebody's got a beef with somebody.
Yeah, I can say that. Yes, sir, I know they do.
I think he was being honest with me. He didn't know who the shooters were.
Investigators learned that a third man drove Brandon and Rayshawn to the hospital.
I spoke with the police officers that were on scene there about the vehicle, got all that settled, about, you know, having the vehicle towed and all that. Got a name of the driver who drove them to the hospital, who was no longer on scene. He had apparently drove them to the hospital and left on foot. But I did get a phone number for him, so I was able to call him. He didn't have a whole lot of information either, didn't know who these folks were that shot at him.
Following the interview, Detective Barton heads to the crime scene.
So as I'm pulling up, obviously there's a lot of cops out there. The scene's secured, it's blocked off, crime scene tape everywhere. So I get out and I got another detective on scene. He gives me a rundown of what he's got, and there's shell casings in the roadway, there's blood.
We recovered 4 9mm shell casings. So we knew we were looking for a 9mm gun. Most of the people who were there, from my understanding, what I was told when I arrived, either left or maybe they were in the house and not willing to come out.
There was a gentleman that was willing to talk with us on scene that gave us information.
Orlandis Hamilton was the only one who stuck around to talk to us. He was there when it happened, and that him and Brandon Willingham seemed to have a close relationship. He was upset about it, and I thought he was genuine in wanting to help.
He said he saw a silver car. He said that there were 3 gentlemen, 3 black males in the vehicle, and he said that one of them in the front seat passenger was hanging a gun out the window and shooting as they were coming down Oliver Street.
He did not recognize or did not know who they were. He said they all had their hats pulled over their faces.
Aside from a vague description of the car, investigators leave the scene with no leads. They consider whether Brandon and Rayshawn were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
There's a lot of drugs run down there, so, you know, when the shooting first came out, that was the first thing that popped in my mind, was a typical drive-by. We've had many a drive-by down there.
Or did Brandon's simmering fame have something to do with his death?
Did a business deal go bad? Did he treat somebody wrong?
In the rap world, beefs arise, you know, they do diss tracks on each other, and then people get mad about that. You know, we really had to look and see if he had any other problems with another rapper, local or otherwise. You know, Atlanta's not that far from here, so we've had times where people come up from Atlanta and do drive-by shootings here. So that was something we had to explore. All these things are possibilities.
I'm just gonna cut to the chase for a minute, chat. The people that came, the people they caught, that they actually caught the people. They actually caught the people who killed the guy, right? They caught the people who killed the guy. So the people that they caught, they said that they was actually from here, chat. They was also from his hometown, Anderson. So they wasn't from like Atlanta or nothing. They was from like his hometown. And me, honestly, there was always rumors saying like it was just jealousy. Like they were just jealous because he was coming up off his fame. But we'll see a little bit of it more. But that's what they basically was saying though. So a lot of like rumors saying people was jealous because he started coming up. He started meeting Young Scooter, Kevin Gates, all these big names and shit. And niggas just didn't want him to win. They didn't want him to be like a real big celebrity for real, bro.
Brandon, he ain't never rap about shooting nobody, all that gangster stuff.
Yeah, they caught the guy who
he
killed
would.
him. Yeah, they been caught the guy who killed him, and he passed the guy who passed. This happened like probably, I want to say like 6 years ago. This probably happened like 6 to 10 years ago. But I'm telling you, Chad, when that shit happened, bro, it was so sad. I'm talking about, Chad, I was literally in class with this guy. Like, we was in school. I was literally in class with this dude coming up with raps. Like, we was literally, like, trying to help each other with each other raps. But he was more on trying to help me out with my raps. Cause, like, when I was rapping and shit, cause this is when I used to write down on paper and notepads and shit. When I used to rap, he used to tell me, man, like, to take out certain shit and leave certain shit. He used to just kind of tell me, like, how to smoothen out my rhymes more when I rap and write it down and shit. Cause he was more of a person that write down a lot too. He would never like freestyle and nothing. He was always writing down like raps on paper and shit. He was that type of rapper, Chad. It's kind of crazy, bro. It's kind of crazy how life is, bro. Like, I literally was with this dude in school, in class. Like, it's crazy.
He never talking about killing nobody in his music. He just talk about the way he wanted to live, like the trap life. He wanted money, cars, females, the fast way. That's what he wanted to do. And to the day they still listen to his music. I can walk in the club and the DJ, I'll give me a shout out and he'll drop my son music just like that, like, boom, drop it. If I'm in there, whether I'm not in there, Jugg Money getting played in one of these clubs. So you gonna hear that name for a long time. He only had 2 mixtapes, but they was classics.
Yeah, it was classics.
So they gonna hear about Jugg Money, cause I'm gonna keep his name out there.
And I feel like Young Scooter had something to do with really putting them on too.
As investigators in Anderson, South Carolina, dig into a double shooting that left 1 man dead, they take a closer look at the victim, Brandon Jugg Money Willingham.
We have to keep an open mind about all the possibilities of why this specific person was killed. We usually do a deep dive into that person. We call it victimology. He was known as Jugg Money. My understanding is he was getting pretty close to making it big. And so that was, of course, something that we had to look into.
You see what I'm saying, Chad?
Brandon was a well-known rapper in the area.
He was making it big.
It could be someone he had a beef with.
Brandon's family insists he had no enemies.
He did not have no beef with people, not that I know of. I never seen him out.
I never seen him with
fight
no beef.
nowhere. Fight somebody called
you
him.
Know what?
Fight one for nah.
You know what? I'm sorry. I almost forgot, Chad. I almost forgot. I know this is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound crazy when I tell y'all this. But he actually used to beef with Typhoon. No cap, Chad. I can't make this shit up, Chad. I literally can't make this up. Jugg Money was actually beefing with Typhoon. I remember we was going to this little like kids club. They used to call it like Fusion and shit. I remember him getting into it with the dude. Like, my whole, bro, shit was so bad, bro. My mom was just looking at him like about to get into it with him, bro. Like, I had to literally like break it up type shit, bro. Shit was out of control. But that's when we were young, bro. That's when we were really young, man. And I think actually before he passed, like, I think they still kind of like they didn't like really squash the beef, but they was kind of like going their separate ways, if that makes sense. They didn't really like squash it, but you know what I'm saying, before he passed, I don't think it was really a big beef, you feel what I'm saying? Nah, but it was crazy though, Chuck. Can y'all imagine Typhoon and Jugg Money actually about to fight each other? Like, that really happened. Like, I'm not even trying to like brag and shit, cause I know he passed and shit. But it's just the shit that I've been through, Chad. People would not know. People would not understand, Chad. Like, my shit is like a movie for real. Like, that shit is crazy.
I ain't never seen him do that. He stayed in the studio too.
I'm telling you, Chad, I can, and if nobody don't believe me, I'm telling you, I can literally call Typhoon right now and he can clarify it. He can clarify it, Chad. Yeah, but he definitely used to get into it with Jugg Money. But me, I was kind of like, I was kind of like, cause I'm not gonna lie, they was in different gangs at the time. Jugg was in the gang, the Typhoon was in a different gang, and they just wasn't like seeing eye to eye at the time. But me, I was kind of like in the middle type shit. I didn't really have a problem with the dude, but at the same time, I was always standing beside my brother Typhoon. Like, that's just what it was. If anybody knew me at the time, chat, I would never like going against Typhoon. Like, it was like a brotherhood for real.
Much.
In fact, they say Brandon was a role model to those who were on the wrong side of the law.
But I fuck with dude though, Chad.
He opened up doors and let them know, like, you can make it, especially when it comes to doing something other than illegal stuff, fighting, gang banging, drugs, anything like that.
He was definitely gang banging, I'm sorry to tell you.
Investigators find nothing in Brandon's life that points to a suspect. So they take a different approach.
The day of the incident that Brandon Willingham was killed, earlier in that day, there was another shooting that happened nearby at a gas station.
It was a rough gas station. I mean, I've probably made 30 arrests there myself.
And we started digging into that one to see if it may be related to this one, because typically these shootings all intertwine somehow. During that investigation, we determined that there was a subject who checked into the hospital from a gunshot wound that morning. The name that checked in was Rores Patterson.
But when detectives check security video from the gas station, they recognize the victim as someone else.
The person who checked in was not Rores Patterson. We were able to pull video and see that. And we determined that the person who checked in was actually Rores' brother, Anthony Patterson, who goes by the street name of D. So that starts throwing up red flags. Why is, Rores, name being used, but it's not Rores.
A little digging gives them an answer.
We determined Anthony had a warrant on him, and he was concerned they were going to call the cops to the hospital. So that's why he used his brother's name, his brother being Rores Patterson.
No arrests had been made, but word on the street was that the shooting was the result of beef between Anthony and another man.
He goes by the street name Hitman. He's well known to us.
Hitman.
They had gotten into an altercation.
I heard about him. Hitman. That sounds like a name.
And Anthony was shot by Hitman.
Ooh.
That case was never reported because Anthony doesn't want to report anything to the cops. And obviously, Hitman's not going to report it. We have not approached Anthony or anybody because we didn't have anything other than just words on the streets. And obviously, we want some kind of evidence. I only got one shot to interview him, so I want to make sure I got my ducks in a row when I do.
But investigators don't see an obvious link between the gas station shooting and Brandon's death. In the meantime, the tip line has been ringing off the hook.
So with this being a local rapper and the following he had, there's obviously a lot of people knew about this, and so as any crime, you're getting a lot of tips. So we had tips come in that we were immediately able to say, no, that's not the case, and it was easy to disprove it. You had other tips come in with very limited information that you couldn't even act on. Each tip that came in, we looked at and was able to determine that was not our person.
Then, 2 days after the shooting, a tip comes in from Brandon's father.
He was telling us that he had met with a subject by the name of David Bennett, and that David Bennett had information on the case and claimed that he was present when it happened.
I did an interview with him. It was brief. He was still obviously very upset about his son's death, but he wanted to pass along this information.
Kelly tells Detective Hill about his conversation with David.
They met at a little rundown restaurant where David proceeded to tell him all the details.
He told me everything that happened. Said the boy, his brother had got shot or something. So he wanted to go get some revenge.
The shooter was identified as Rores Patterson. He thought he was seeking payback for someone that shot his brother earlier the same day.
David is in the back seat of the car, and that Rores was the shooter, and there was another subject driving the car.
Dude reached out the window and said he ain't even look, just reached out the window and started shooting. He didn't even look at nobody, just started shooting out the window.
So that's how he died?
Shot my son one time. Shot Cujo 4 times.
Damn, so that's how he died. A dude was seeking revenge.
My next big thing was I gotta find David.
Is that really what happened?
We found his last known address in our system, and we went to that house. It turns out that was his grandparents' house. Nobody knew where David Bennett was. Wouldn't give us any information. I felt like he was being a little, I felt like Mr. Bennett's grandfather was withholding some information. I thought he knew more than he was telling us.
David Bennett works at McDonald's, so I go to McDonald's. David hadn't shown up for work all week, which is not uncommon. You know, when you're involved in a shooting, you're concerned about retaliation, so you try to lay low.
The next day, Detective Barton gets a phone call.
I was driving down the road when he called me, and I couldn't believe it, because we never get calls like this. So I pulled over on the side of the road, and he and I talked for a little while, and he told me that he was in New York. He wouldn't come back. He said he was, concerned with retaliation. He's not coming back to Anderson, but he did agree to meet with me if I could fly to New York.
South Carolina detectives get their first big break in the killing of rapper Jugg Money when witness David Bennett agrees to talk to them.
Damn.
2 investigators fly to New York, where they interview 24-year-old David Bennett in a hotel room.
It's really unorthodox to do anything like that, but he didn't want to meet me at the police station. He's fearing he's going to jail. I'm not there to lock him up. I'm there to try to get information.
All right, thank you. All right, we're recording right there on video. I'm recording right here on the audio record.
Nah, that's crazy.
You met up with him? Talking with me. You there on your own free will, right?
I didn't even be talking.
I told you you wasn't under arrest or nothing like that. When we get down here, you leaving? And we going a different way, right? The obviously we're working on the murder that happened down in Anderson County, correct? Well, all right, and if you don't want to talk to me, you ain't got to talk to me, sure. It's up to you, all right? I'm just going to use the phone. Okay.
David tells the detective that he was at a party with his friend Terrence West the night Brandon was shot.
David and Terrence are just friends. Terrence is actually Roy's uncle.
His brother D was over there.
That nigga talking.
Drinking, playing cards, whatever.
Roy Rez and his brother were discussing the shooting that happened earlier that day when Anthony took a bullet in the leg.
He was fighting at the store and Hitman pulled his gun out and shot him.
So when they're at the party, David wants to go buy drugs. So he and Terrence are going to go buy drugs.
It was going on 11 o'clock. And she was like, man, let's go get some more weed real quick.
As they get to the car, Rores is already at the car and jumps in.
They piled into Terrence's car, a silver Mitsubishi Mirage. David got in the back seat.
When they pull onto the horseshoe, they come around to the other end. And as they're approaching the end, there's 4 or 5 guys on the street corner.
I'll get ready to hop on the car. They asked for my weed.
Royez Patterson just opened up fire, and then Royez said, drive, drive, drive.
David says he doesn't know what's happening. He jumps back in the car, and Royez is telling Terrence to go.
He told me, gee, we ain't speak nothing, we don't know nothing.
Did he say why he shot at him?
He said, wow.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was over his brother getting shot, but I don't know why.
When they got back to the party, Roy Rez approached his brother.
He told him, I got the man that shot me. We jumping around, I got on down.
But based on what investigators know, it was Hitman who shot Anthony, not Brandon.
He looks very similar to Brandon. The dreadlocks, the stature, all that matched. Especially you're driving through at night. It's not a well-lit area.
Could this have been a case of mistaken identity? Is it the case that Roy Rez Patterson was seeking payback for the person he thought shot his brother.
David Bennett says he and Terrence immediately leave. They go back to Terrence's apartment and hang out all night long, watching the news for what's going on, and that's when they start realizing someone was killed.
Police put together a photo array.
So we're on the phone back with detectives in Anderson, trying to get lineups emailed to me. Once we get those, I show them to him. He picks out Rores Patterson as who he only really knew by Rores. And D, he picks out Anthony Patterson, and he only knew him by D, as Rores' brother. And then he also picked out a photo lineup of Terrence West, who the driver was. The first thing I want to do is find Terrence West. So I want to find Rores too, but Rores being the shooter, I want to save him for last because I want everything I can get before I get to Rores.
When they get back to South Carolina, detectives find that rumors of Roy Rez's involvement have arrived ahead of them. Tension is at a boiling point.
People who knew Brandon Willingham, these people cared about him. They really wanted payback for what happened to Brandon.
The retaliation culture around here is serious. I mean, the people really stand on business when it comes to the people that they love.
Someone shot up the home where Roy Rez and his brother had been on the night of the shooting.
There had been a barbecue going on out there. Somebody easily could have been killed. This is a dangerous, dangerous situation. Not long after that, Rores' vehicle at his girlfriend's house was set on fire.
So we saw this uptick in violence of people trying to flush out the killer.
But Roy Rez is staying out of sight.
So I had probable cause to sign warrants. I've already been to Rores' house at East Market Street. Nobody's coming to the door for me over there. Terrence West, on the other hand, needs a job, so he went on to work. We located Terrence at the manufacturing facility. We told him he was under arrest. I transport Terrence myself back to the office. We have an interview room set up where I wanted to take him in there and speak with him. I read him his Miranda rights, and then I just asked him what happened. He told me the story. The story he gave was almost to the detail of what David Bennett's story was.
Police charged Terrence West with accessory after the fact of murder and attempted murder.
His actions after the shooting is what got him charged. He had multiple opportunities to step forward and tell us what happened.
The same day that Terrence is arrested, also the day of Brandon's funeral, Roy Rez Patterson turns himself in.
Roy Rez apparently can't take the heat. He was seeking payback for who he thought shot his brother, but the streets and the fans of Brandon were also seeking their own payback.
So he contacted our warrants guy, said, you know, I know I got warrants on me, I'll turn myself in. So he was there that afternoon.
7 days after the death of Brandon Willingham, investigators finally interview his alleged killer, Roy Rez Patterson.
I brought him to the office, the same as any other suspect.
7 days.
You know, I try to build a rapport with him, go back and forth. I Mirandize him, and we start talking about this case. And from the beginning of that interview, I knew that he was not fixing to confess to this crime.
I know what happened. I've already had several people tell me, witnesses, people that were there because they were in the car with you. Yeah. So
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Lying to me will do you no good.
I ain't lying about nothing.
He leaned back and smiled at me and said, "You got the wrong guy." When you have an attitude like that, it's going to be hard to get a confession.
Roy Rez says he never left the party that night.
Well, what about when you and David and Key were out that night?
I didn't get a car key.
Well, why are both of them saying you did?
I didn't get a car key.
Okay.
All right.
Do you own any guns?
No, sir.
So that's the story you're sticking with?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Patterson had several days to get rid of the gun, so of course he wouldn't tell us where the gun is. And, you know, looking for a gun, especially here in the South, that's a needle in the haystack.
He claimed that we had the wrong person, and throughout the entire interview just sat and smiled at me.
You can sit there smiling all you want.
I got it straight up.
But when we go to court and the judge reads out murder, I want you to smile again, okay?
I ain't smiling about no murder.
Smile.
I ain't smiling about no murder, because I didn't murder nobody.
Well, you got a murder charge.
I didn't murder nobody.
So you can get right with it, or you can sit there with a smile on your face saying you didn't do it.
It's my word against our word. I did.
I didn't do no serious stick to that story, but every dude out there knows you did it.
Yeah, that's how the streets talk. The streets don't talk like that, but I'm a working man.
He kept saying that he was a working man, that I got the wrong guy.
I didn't shot and kill nobody. I work for it. I got a family.
I understand you work.
Yeah, I work and I don't bother nobody.
But that don't mean you wasn't out Saturday night in that car.
But it was funny, he hadn't been to work all week, and he's not sick. So, you know, there were some pieces of his story that he told me that we could prove that he was lying.
And I got 2 witnesses that were in the car with you.
And I got my witness.
Who?
My family, where I was at.
He gave me names of folks that were at his party who could vouch for him to say he didn't leave all night long. So now we have to start finding those people, because if there is someone who can vouch that he was there all night long, then I've got the wrong guy, and that's the last thing I want, is the wrong guy. As much as I want justice for the family, I definitely don't want to arrest the wrong guy.
Your uncle says you did.
I didn't do it.
Okay. Like
That's my word against his word.
I got 2 people's word that were there, so that you was the one shooting.
We charged Royce Patterson with murder and attempted murder for the attempted murder of Rayshawn Cowan and the murder of Brandon Willingham.
Following the arrest, investigators follow up on Roy Rez's alibi by talking to the party's host.
So when he gives me these names, I start going around interviewing. Several of the names he gave me, one of them, the guy wasn't even in town. Said he was in the military in North Carolina, so wasn't even there. Another guy says, yeah, I was there, but I didn't come till after their house had been shot up, so I was not at the barbecue. Don't know if he left or not. Another name was his sister. I asked her, were you there with them all night? And she admitted, well, there was a time they could have left that I don't know about it. That right there is enough that she cannot be a good witness for Royce if she can't physically say, I saw him all night long. Nobody could vouch for him all night long at being at that house. Anything he gave me, we were able to tear it apart.
Both David Bennett and Terrence West agreed to testify against Roy Rez at trial.
How many uncles are gonna try to convict their own nephew? So I thought that was really good. Their stories are pretty doggone similar. So I thought it was a decent case in that aspect.
But will it be enough?
We didn't have any physical evidence tying Royce Patterson to this case, to this murder. We had 2 witness statements, and that was it.
Remember trying. 25th, 2016. Nearly 2 years after the shootings of Brandon Willingham and Rayshawn Cowan, Roy Rez Patterson goes on trial for murder and attempted murder. Brandon's family watches in court.
All I could see was an ugly monster sitting there. I cannot believe this ugly human took my beautiful child, who has so much going for him.
Everybody was so confused. We don't even know him, the guy who killed him, Roy Rez. We don't even know you to even see why you would even have a problem with a 20-year-old rapper.
According to the state, the motive is revenge. But the real tragedy is that Roy Rez killed the wrong man.
That's what I was saying.
Unfortunately, Brandon.
The whole thing of this whole story, and I ain't finna get too deep into all of this. The real reason he passed away with Chad, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And this happens to a lot of people, Chad. Happen a lot of people in hip hop, just a lot of people in general, bro. Sometimes you can just be at the wrong place at the wrong time. I hate to say it. Like that's just real life, bro. Sometimes you just be at the wrong place at the wrong time and some shit just go off. Bullet accidentally hit him instead of the other dude. He probably didn't even know he was a rapper. Shit's crazy.
And was in the wrong place at the wrong time that night, there for a legitimate purpose, scouting for a music video, and it just happened to be when this group of guys rolled through.
They finna do a video, and he got shot at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Royce Patterson saw Brandon Willingham, thought it was Hitman. It was dark, not a well-lit area, They looked very similar, and that's when he opened fire. I think his emotions took over.
So
He
that's what
saw the
happened
guy
to
who
him.
shot his brother in his mind, and he was going to get him back.
Carlandis Hamilton takes the stand and describes the heartbreaking minutes after the shooting took place as he tried to help Brandon.
That shit sad.
Carlandis was the one holding him when blood was coming out of his mouth, and he said he was slapping Brandon in the face, telling him, stay with, don't leave.
He explained like the sounds my brother were making, like basically saying that my brother died right then and there.
Carlandis gives a description of the car from which the shots were fired.
Carlandis Hamilton had described a silver, boxy kind of SUV. It was a Mitsubishi SUV.
He reported seeing a silver box-type vehicle drive around the horseshoe just before the shots rang out and then speed away. We determined that Terrence West was driving a silver Mitsubishi Mirage, which is a box-type vehicle, and it belonged to his girlfriend.
His testimony backs up accounts from the prosecution's 2 star witnesses.
We watched Terrence West get on the stand. David Bennett came back to South Carolina, took the stand, gave his version of the events.
They told almost the same exact story, and they both admitted to being in the car when this happened. Terrence is Royez's uncle, so when your family's testifying against you, it kind of adds a little bit of credibility to that, because people expect families to cover for each other.
All right.
Roy Rez does not take the stand.
The defense was with the wrong guy, that his client was nowhere involved.
In Roy Rez's defense, his attorney argued that in the car that the drive-by shooting took place, there were 16 fingerprints found, and none of them matched Roy Rez. And also, police never recovered a murder weapon. None was ever found.
After 3 days of trial, both sides rest.
Then in the end, the jury found him guilty.
Justice was definitely served.
Has to do 35 years, day by day.
35 years.
No probation. Yeah, it's straight time.
35 years straight.
They should have gave him life without parole. You took my son's life. You should not have another chance to come out either.
35 years really ain't that long.
The people killed my brother. I don't forgive them for what they did. I probably never would, but in my heart, I don't just hate these people. God got me just like God gonna have y'all and deal with y'all in his own way.
I think justice was served.
Brandon's
35
fans
years.
still mourn the loss. And for his family, the pain cuts just as deep today
If he get
as
out,
it
he's
did
still gonna be like
when Brandon
60,
died.
50 something.
I miss him, and excuse me if I'm about to cry, but yeah, they did something to me.
Damn.
It really did. It crushed me.
Damn.
That's my only boy. And for him to do that to my son, when my son didn't do nothing to nobody, to harm nobody. I don't think he cared about him making music. And that crushed me.
Damn, shit. That was a crazy one. That was a W documentary.
I just wish he could have lived a little longer to see where his potential would have took him.
He was more than a son.
Long
Brandon
live
was,
Jugg money, chat.
he was like my best friend.
He was actually a cool guy, chat.
I'm so glad God gave me 20 years with him. He could have gave me none, so at least I got 20.
Nah, no cap though, chat. Before I really end up, it's crazy how it happened, chat. Cause it's like we kind of was enemies before we kind of got cool with each other. It's as crazy as it sounds. Like when I first met Jugg and shit, we didn't really like each other. Just cause off the fact Typhoon didn't like him and shit. You know, you gotta think about it. Like if you got a sister and brother, and they already not liking a certain person, you gotta rock with your sister and brother and shit. You feel what I'm saying? So that's